Greetings, welcome to Facts About Everything. I'm your host James Egan, and today we'll be looking at the 38th President of the United States, Gerald Ford. Ford pardoned Nixon for the Watergate scandal, believing he did not deserve a long and messy trial. His nickname was Mr. Nice Guy. He once said, "A government big enough to give you everything you want is a government big enough to take from you everything you have." Ford is the most recent death of a former American president on December 26, 2006, age 93. This makes him the oldest person to ever be president. He was an astounding footballer at university. He was centre and linebacker and held 2 undefeated seasons and national titles in 1932 and 1933. He was offered places with the Detroit Lions and the Green Bay Packers, but he declined to focus on politics. Ford used to be a model. No, really, I'm not kidding. And I don't mean he was just a random model for a brief time. He had his own modelling agency and he was on the cover of Cosmopolitan. I mean, I don't know what Cosmopolitan is, but it sounds impressive, so. He was an Eagle Scout, the highest rank at the Boy Scouts. Ford was a ranger at Yellowstone Park when he was 23. He said it was one of the greatest summers of my life. Gerald Ford's birth name was Leslie Lynch King Jr. He changed his name when he was adopted by his stepfather. When he became known as Gerald Ford, he took the middle name Rudolph. He was the first president to visit Japan while in office. Ford was the first president to host a prom. It was his daughter's prom. He had a golden retriever called Liberty. The Vietnam War ended in 1976 during his presidency. A woman called Lynette Fromm confronted Gerald Ford with a gun on September 5, 1975. A Secret Service agent grabbed her before she had a chance to fire. It seemed that Fromm never had any real intention of shooting him because the gun was empty. And if you think that's weird, it gets weirder. Fromm was one of the people who was manipulated by the sociopath Charles Manson to be a part of his cult. Gerald Ford is probably the most surprised person to ever become president. See, when Spiro Agnew had to resign the vice presidency in 1973 due to tax evasion scandal, Ford was made vice president. A few months later, Nixon resigned and Ford became president. That means within a couple of months, he wasn't even the vice president and then he was in charge of the entire country. This also means that Ford is the only president that was never elected by the voting public for the presidency or the vice presidency. On top of that, he is the only vice president that became president for a reason besides the death of the previous president. Special thanks to these fine people for all their help. Be sure to subscribe to Facts About Everything. Follow me on Twitter for updates on upcoming videos. Check out my Facebook page to let me know what subjects you want me to talk about in the future. Thanks for watching, see you again.